I been building up the blocks like a me. Elliot got water dripping out the ceiling. Oh my God, boy he got a Glock. Oh my God, boy that boy on top. Sipping walk, make my heart stop. All these hoes, yeah my love my thigh. Yo, all let go, put her on roll, put that whole payroll, put that hoe on go. Yeah she like to go, yeah she love to blow. Get that dick slow, like a snow cone. Yo, get that bag, show 'em how to ball. I'm in the mall, yeah I'm saying. Give me a minute, yeah, I need a minute, I'm in a minute, I'm in a minute, I'm gonna tell you, hey, Cardi B and Pippin, Cardi B and kick the shit in, yeah, give me a minute, yeah.
Hey, what's good, guys? DGE, Dolphin Gang Entertainment. It's your boy DG, and we back with another live stream. We're just gonna be going over practice, a few notes about practice, so on and so forth. And I actually got some clips today. Shout out to the plug. It's in chronological order in regards to what happened at practice today. So please like, comment, subscribe. This is exclusive footage that is not from Twitter or anything else. This is exclusive footage from practice. Shout out to iRock coming in. What up, big dog? Long time. Yes, sir, it has been. But I told myself when the season starts, I'll hop back on doing live for the Miami Dolphins and the NFL in general. So I'm glad to be back, iRock. Glad to see you in the chat. Anybody else, feel free to leave a comment. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Do not be shy. So I got about 9. I don't want to say the number. I'm going to just say we got over 50 clips from practice. So watching this live stream will be practically you being at practice so you can see everything that happened. All right. Like I said again, please leave a comment. Like, comment, subscribe, do everything that you can just to help me get out there more, just based off of doing this video alone. I didn't have to do this. I could have just started off with notes, but I got clip after clip after clip after clip. So it should be a good live stream, man. I love the live streams where I can actually react to the footage instead of just going off of what I wrote down during practice. For sure. First clip I got here is Chris Bell, our receiver that we got from Louisville. Like Coach Hafley said, he's still recovering. Coach Hafley said he's not day-to-day. He's not month-to-month. So probably he's week-to-week. Based off how he looks like out there, it seems like he'll be ready for like week 4. Week 5 in my prediction. That's what it seems like. Maybe it might be sooner, it may be later, I don't know, but he's out there moving. He wants to be on the field. He wants to be a part of the teammates, so on and so forth. So I shout out to Chris Bell, trying to work his way back up from that injury that he had in college. No, he's out there at every practice with a certain amount of people, like 3 to 4 people that are watching him, go through the recovery process, and, going through sprints, running routes, so on and so forth. Just based off what I saw of him running the sprints and everything, I give him like 75%, 80%. That's what he looks like to me, in that range, 75 to 80%. It seemed like Coach Hafley doesn't want to put him out there just yet until he's 100%. because he doesn't want to stunt the growth of Chris Bell. If you get what I'm trying to say. So good job by the coaching staff, just taking it slow, taking their time with Chris Bell. So he was out there earlier before anybody else, just working on that, his get off, just running some routes on air, so on and so forth. Um, Somebody on the assistant staff, just throwing them a football. That's all that happened before practice, and then that's when all the players started to come out and go through warm-ups. That would be next, and then later on in the live stream, we'll show the plays that happened during practice today. I didn't get every play. Um, from what I'm seeing on the files, it seems like we just got a few one-on-ones and other stuff like that. So shout out to Chris Bell. We compared him to Anquan Bolden the other day, who was AJ Brown, that type of posture. Can't wait to see what he does on the football field. Cannot wait. Okay, I don't know how to go next. Let me see. Okay, next, we just got the D linemen going through their warm ups, hitting the bags. I'm not even gonna lie, Butler looks big. Butler looks big in person, so I'm not saying that means anything in regards to him making the team, but he definitely looks the part in person as a D tackle. Looks like a guy who could play nose. Um, yeah, looks like a guy who could play nose or three technique as well. Looks like a strong, stout defensive tackle. There go Zach Sealer and Kenneth Grant. This is basically just working on like that block shed and like getting your eyes around the offensive lineman so you can locate the ball. So I kind of like this drill. They were up close and personal with the fans out there, so pretty good drill right there. As you can see, Chop Robinson, y'all see that size on Chop. Y'all see Chop look like a good 260, a good 260 pounds right here, and dealing with him off the edge, especially since he already got that speed, that 4.4 speed, is going to be a tough time for tackles going into this year. Chop Robinson definitely does have his way against like Charlie Heck, but when he goes up against Patrick Paul, it kind of goes, evenly. It seems like once Chop Robinson go up against the best tackles in the NFL, he's gonna have to find that extra gear in regards to beating that tackle. If he goes up against Trent Williams and all that, those good guys, Chop Robinson got to come with his A game, because I don't think he's at his A game just yet. But he could reach that A game by going up against the best of the best, the best of the best. But I'm happy that Chop Robinson is, looking good at practice. He's looking good. They got everybody in that 2-point stance. not in the 4 point or the 3 point. All right, next. That's crib though. All right, here we have Patrick Paul at tackle. Good job at Patrick. There's Caden Proctor. Like them guys, they look even bigger in person. You know, Patrick Paul, he's 6'8". He doesn't look like he's moving like a 6'8" guy. He looks like he's moving like a 6'5", a 6'4" tackle, but he's actually 6'8". Same thing with Caden Proctor. Caden Proctor actually looks better than I expected in person. You know, he looks like the second best offensive lineman on the team already. Not second, third. Aaron Brewer, he's up there for sure. But Caden Proctor looks like the third best offensive lineman on the Dolphins. So it seemed like they was just working on reach blocking on this one, pretty much, with the O-line. There goes Marquise. I'm not gonna say his last name. Number 70. He kind of looked good to me today. I'm not even gonna lie. There go. I think this is Esther. He looked decent. I'm not even gonna lie. He looked decent today. You know, won some of his matchups. You know, he still got some work to do. But he looked all right. Here's some more clips. Here goes Marquise. He's going up again. He's going up at tackle right here. He drove Patrick Paul back. There's Esther. The thing about the offensive line coach, you know, we're used to Butch Berry from Mike McDaniel's era, but now we have, I believe his name is Applebaum. Let me search it up. Hold on, Google. Who is the Miami Dolphins offensive line coach? So they're saying is Zach Yenser, and Matt Applebaum is actually the assistant offensive line coach. He interviewed for our offensive line head coaching position, but we chose Butch Berry over him. You know, but with these guys, I kind of trust them. With Matt Applebaum, I believe he has some familiarity with, he has some familiarity with Coach Hafley from Coach Hafley's time with Boston College. Coach Applebaum was at Boston College as well, so that's probably how he got this position with the Miami Dolphins. Pretty cool to see the guy that interviewed but didn't end up getting the job, but now he's actually in the building, actually coaching our guys. So hopefully he could live up to what Butch Berry supplied for us, and we liked Butch Berry a lot, but now we got a new guy in the room, and hopefully he could live up to what Berry helped our offensive line do last year. Even though we weren't all that good, but he still got our guys better. You could pretty much say he developed Patrick Paul. You could pretty much say that. And now they're trying to develop Marquise at tackle to see if he could be like a good swing tackle. If Austin Jackson goes down, you know, we can't trust Austin Jackson. We can't trust him. So Marquise will be a good guy to keep on a team just in case if anybody goes down. But he has to work for it. He has to prove to us that he could hold up. I wouldn't say he's showing that yet, but he looks all right at practice. He doesn't look horrible. He doesn't look like Charlie Heck, in my opinion. They're working on reach blocking, going to that opposite shoulder. Pretty good drill right here for offensive linemen. Getting in front of somebody's face, sealing the block. This is how it looks like. Sealing the block. That was Aaron Brewer right there. A shot to him. This is Patrick Paul again. No, this is Marquise again. But you see how these offensive linemen, smaller lower body, bigger upper body. You sometimes you really want your offensive linemen to be light on their feet, and if the body physics shows it, you trust them to be out there in movement, in pulling situations. Just like with Patrick Paul, it seems like he's more top heavy than bottom heavy, so you could definitely tell like he has that movement ability, or maybe he gained that while he was in Miami. Because at Houston, when he was playing, he had a lot of work to do, but he looks way better compared to how he looked like coming out of Houston in that draft that we selected him. Way better. Right here we have Caden Proctor working on that reach block. Good job on this one. Get into that other shoulder. But I want you to turn them out this way. Go more towards that outside shoulder than turn them out this way. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I haven't heard anything about our first round pick, Kenneth Grant, all training camp. It seems like with Kenneth Grant, he's pretty much opening up everything for our defensive line. If you're the best defensive lineman on the field, most likely you're going to get doubled. I wouldn't say Kenneth Grant um, is the best defensive lineman, but I would rather say that since he's at the D tackle position, he's more prone to eat up a double team. I wouldn't say like he's skilled to the point where he's defeating double teams consistently, but it's just going to take time in regards to him, learning how to block shed and getting off offensive linemen, so on and so forth. He only got 1 year on his belt, so this year probably will be the year where he gets more production. Even though we're not hearing about him at practice, he'll probably go in the game and get a sack or two randomly. This year I think he get at least 7 sacks. That's my prediction for Kenneth Grant. At least 7 sacks. But good job by Caden. Big guy. Big guy. Looked like he wear a size 17 shoe. His legs look like the size of two, like Coach Applebaum's legs mixed in one. For sure, for sure. This is a big guy right here. Hey, Caden Proctor, if you ever want to be a security guard, hit me up. Hit me up. I pay whatever you need to be my security guard, for sure. Shout out to Caden. Here's more clips. Getting in that zone. When you're like this, when you're coming off the block and you're sealing this side off, the running back could be running towards behind the back of Caden Proctor. So it's always good to get this angle that Caden Proctor is in right now. So the defender doesn't have a way to the running back that's going towards that other way. So that's the benefit of this drill, just taking the right steps in space to help you in regards to making that block. Sometimes if you take the wrong steps and you don't get to the right spot at the right time, you may end up letting the defender go and tackle Devon A-Chain. So it's always important, especially if you're an offensive line that's going to be on the move a lot. with Malik Willis, with Devon A. Chain, y'all boys gonna probably have to be moving around a lot going to the second level because those boys could make anything happen at any moment if anything is not open. So with this offensive line and the scheme, it seems like we're gonna still stay in that zone type of type of scheme, like that zone blocking that Mike McDaniel like to do in regards to having offensive linemen that can move. We're putting an emphasis on our offensive line to be able to move so we can run this certain type of scheme that our offensive coordinator is running. You know, Caden Proctor, I'm not too worried about him moving. It seemed like he can move well. Patrick Paul seemed like he could move well. Aaron Brewer seemed like he could move well. It's just that right side. The stability of the right side of the offensive line worries me a lot. Worries me a lot. A shout out to a Dundee Dolphin. KG has been working away. Seems to have made some improvements. Um, I haven't seen no exponential improvements from Kenneth Grant, but sometimes when you not hearing about somebody a lot, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing because if Kenneth Grant was losing a lot, we probably would have heard of you probably would have heard more about him compared to what we're hearing now. And, if he was winning a lot, we probably would have heard more about him. But it seemed like he's even killed. You get what I'm trying to say? I think I got a few clips of Kenneth Grant later on in this slideshow that I got for y'all, so we can see how he performed during the team drills. See, they're working on it again. Just moving out in space, getting the defender. So that seems like that's going to be important in our scheme. They go Coach Applebaum and the offensive line coach. Can't really judge them based off of just seeing them on the football field. But I just wanted to focus in on who's actually coaching our guys and can this guy help our guys get better, just like Butch Berry did last year. Let me see who Applebaum worked with. Who are NFL guys coach Applebaum, who is the offensive line assistant coach for the Miami Dolphins? Who has he worked with in the previous times? Okay, hold on. Who has Coach Matt Applebaum, the assistant offensive line coach, worked with in regards to getting them to the NFL? So Coach Applebaum, he worked with Zion Johnson, Alec Lindstrom, just to name a few Boston College guys that he sent to the NFL. Not a big pedigree. He probably still trying to prove himself in regards to being a good offensive line coach, but this is a good start. Zion Johnson, I think he's with the Browns right now, and Alec Lindstrom, I'm not too sure where he's at. I don't think he's with the Dallas Cowboys at the current moment. I think he's with somebody else. So I trust him until I can't trust him. So I got to see you during the season. I got to see you actually coaching up the offensive line and seeing if they're taking in the coaching and implementing it on the football field for me to judge you as a coach, because the product is what you put out there on the field, not what I hear about you or your accolades. We got to see if you could develop Caden Proctor into being one of those good offensive linemen in the NFL. I would say you're a good offensive line coach if you could help Caden Proctor be good at guard and tackle. That's a good start right there. That's probably going to be hard too much on his plate as a rookie. But I definitely see it with Caden Proctor being that guy who could be a Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. Not just being good at guard. I could see him being good at tackle. I could definitely see that. A shout out to Cap. Much love, my boy. Appreciate you. Yeah, four turnovers. I think I got all of them on tape. I think I got all of them on tape. So just stick around on this live stream, and I'll show you everything that happened. I'll show you everything that happened. There goes Aaron Brewer, Jonah. Here goes Jonah in the warm up drill for the offensive lineman, working on punch, hand placement. Like up here, not a good place to hit. Get it more towards the bottom of the pads where you could like this, not like this up top. Get it from under and then block. It seemed like Austin Jackson, he just hit in the top of the pads. That's what it seemed like. It's the top. There go Caden. Caden seemed like he hit in the numbers. Okay. If you're hitting the numbers, you're pretty much already there in regards to where you need to be when you're blocking. A cap said AJ's back. AJ is back, but during one-on-ones he sat out. So I'm guessing he's trying to like get his feet wet again. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Good job by Karen Proctor. Who was 63? Campbell, the guy that we drafted from Texas. Nobody really talks about him. Nobody really talks about him, but we're gonna keep a close eye out on him during the drills. Good inside punch. There goes Klein, the 6'6" tackle that we got, and then there goes a T. I forgot his name, man. I forgot his name. 72. 72. You can't be disrespecting Teron Armstead like that. I know Teron Armstead, he's retired, but you got to give a dog Teron Armstead's number 72. You got to give it to a dog. He hasn't shown me anything yet, but this is your chance to prove it right now. The only locked in person is not Caden Proctor, Patrick Hall. So that second tackle spot, I feel like it's up for grabs. Austin Jackson, he could grab it, but he hasn't grabbed it yet. He hasn't grabbed it yet. Austin Jackson grabbing that second tackle spot is him staying healthy, him performing at least at an average level. That's him securing that he has that second tackle spot, but he hasn't done that up till this point. So now we gotta keep on auditioning all these other tackles just to see if they can make the team. But only time will tell, man, in regards to what happens. Only time will tell. Here goes Aaron Brewer. Got the claw together. See, Patrick Paul, he kind of doing it. He doing it good. I like how Patrick Paul is doing it. He's going underneath the pads. Underneath. Here goes Jonah doing it better. Good. Stand low. Good anchor. I like that right there. I like that right there. Austin Jackson slipping up. Caden Proctor, good job. See, Caden Proctor do not look like he's 360. He looks like he's 330, 315. He does not. There goes Campbell. Campbell don't look too bad. Okay, Campbell. Okay, Texas. Klein, good job staying low. Good job staying low, Klein. All right. They're going through this drill again. That first punch is important. Y'all might be looking at this drill like there's no reason for this, but that first punch is important. They go Andrew Meyer. Andrew Meyer looks like a seasoned veteran at camp. He don't look like the best offensive lineman, but it looks like he's been here for a year already. He's been here for a year already. So I'm pretty sure Andrew Meyer has his roster spot locked up at this current moment behind Aaron Brewer. Right. This is just the offensive line just chilling on the sideline, talking to Coach Applebaum. With this clip, I believe he has the tackles separated while the guards and the centers worked on the other side. So the tackle work is way different than the guard and center work. Picking up blockers. A lot of teams going to blitz more than four guys. So it's always good to do this drill right here. Always good. So they worked on that during practice today. They did this for like each player. So I like what the offensive line did during practice. I like the intensity from when Butch Berry was coaching our guys. But in regards to what I saw from Applebaum and what he was doing with our offensive linemen, I, it's not bad. I'm not even gonna lie, it's not bad. Pretty good. Like I feel like our guys got better through this practice. Our guys got better. With Aaron Brewer. Aaron Brewer, he's an anomaly for sure. He probably my height. He definitely way more than me, like 280, some in that range. But he's just a strong human being. It don't matter about your size. It just matters about your heart. So you could definitely learn a lesson or two from Aaron Brewer if you're facing any fears in your life, if you're doubting yourself at any point in your life, you could look at Aaron Brewer and look at him as a motivation. Like maybe I can do this. Like dreams can come true. There's high school kids who are the same height as Aaron Brewer thinking that they cannot make it to the NFL. But you're gonna have to put in the hard work. Aaron Brewer, he didn't go to a big school. He went to Texas Tech. Nothing crazy, but he still made it to the point where he got two big contract extensions. Played for the Titans. Now he's with the Dolphins, and he's solidified as one of the top centers in the NFL now. One of the top centers. So shout out to Aaron Brewer. Big inspiration. Big inspiration. All right. Trust me, y'all. The juicy stuff is coming. I know it's a lot of the old lineman stuff, but the juicy stuff is coming. Trust me. Here goes Marquise. Decent, decent job on that one. I'm gonna lean forward on this one. Wait, hold on. No, I got it. Oh man. Oh my bad, y'all. But like I told you about Marquise, I feel like Marquise could make the team. Marquise could make the team. As soon as I go on live, that's when I'm getting all these messages, man. Crazy. But let's get to the next clip. Caden Proctor. You can see that strength, that second block. Look at that. Good anchor. Right. Ain't no way you're bull rushing this right here. Ain't no way you're bull rushing this. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I feel like Caden Proctor has a chance to be like a top 10 guard. Tackle, I'd say he has the potential to be like a top 15 tackle, top 12 tackle, but he could definitely be a top 10 guard. His ceiling, I think, is like a top five guard in the NFL. Hey, we're hoping that this draft pick works out rather than everybody else because we picked them first. We picked him over Ruben Baines, so we're trying to see every day something from Caden Proctor, and he hasn't looked too bad to the point where I'm not thinking about Ruben Bain every day. I'm not, because Caden Proctor looks pretty good out there, and like I say, he looks like the third best offensive lineman, third best. You could say second because Aaron Brewer, we know about the size that he is, but it still don't matter. I just feel like Caden Proctor has looked good up to this point. He's looked good. But we got to see him in game action, though. Got to see him in game action, though. There's Marquise again. Doing the same drill. And right here we got the DBs going. What is this? What drill is this? I believe this is a drill where you are shuffling and then you're hitting the ball out of the defender's hands. You see they got the bags right there with the ball in between so you can hit the ball. I believe. I could be wrong. Like I told y'all, it seems like with Halfley, it's an emphasis in regards to getting that ball out. No matter what position you play, even the water boys, he got the water boys out there hitting the ball just in case if they could get a forced fumble out there. So I like that in regards to how they practice. They're worried about the takeaways because at the end of the day, the takeaways could win you a game for sure. If you have like 2-3 takeaways a game, that might like lock you in regards to winning that game that week. Might lock you in. So you might as well just focus in on it, the things that's going to help you in the game. The things that people are not really good at. Not everybody could get turnovers. So if you teach the whole defensive roster how to hit the ball out, how to intercept, how to force a fumble, that's going to be infectious in regards to everybody else doing it. Especially with Jacob Rodriguez, him and his pedigree of doing that consistently. I just found this out. Jacob Rodriguez finished 5th in Heisman voting. Heisman is for the best player in college football. And Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker for Texas Tech, finished 5th. That goes to show you how productive he was in college. For sure. So shout out to the coaching staff just focusing in on this. Focusing in. With this Chris Johnson, Ethan Bonner, Alex Austin, 36. I think it's Lewis Moore. $35. I think that's Battle. This guy, he had 2 picks today. 2 picks. This is the guy that was causing all those turnovers right here. You would have thought it was Chris Johnson or somebody else. But it was Battles. It was Battles getting all those turnovers today. So shout out to him. He had a good practice, but let's keep it up. Let's keep up the intensity. Let's keep on doing this, man. Let's keep on doing this. Shout out to Dundee Dolphin. Haven't seen anything from you in a long time. Good to see you. Always worth a watch. Appreciate you. You're always there for me. So much love and respect. I'm pretty sure you was like one of the first people that was like tuning into what I was saying. So shout out to you, man. And shout out to TD FinTalk. Appreciate you for pulling up. Good stuff, bro. Appreciate you, TD. If you ever need my help with the Dolphins or whatever, I'm glad to do this. You know, Dolphins are my team, my passion. So whatever you need, TD, you follow me on X, so you could definitely like message me if you need me for I forgot the show's name, Roundtable, and Dolphins Collect, whatever you need, TD. Just let me know. Let me know. TD, he's the GOAT of this. So whatever TD say, go. Whatever TD say, go. Let's collab for sure, TD. For sure. I DM you after I'm done with this live stream. I got a lot of clips to go through, but I'll definitely DM you so we could definitely get something going for sure. Hold on. My bad about the recording. Every time somebody pass by, you gotta put the phone down. You got to put the phone down. Here's the running backs going through their drills today. That's Washington Jr. He looked decent today. He looked decent. A-Chain looks good per usual. Ollie Gordon obviously looks like the bigger running back compared to Jalen Wright. Obviously, it's like apparent on the football field. There goes Hankerson, the guy that we got from Oregon State. He's back there. A-Chain. I believe this is Edwards, Donovan Edwards from Michigan. And 34 is the fullback that we've been working with. I'm not too sure if he makes the roster. I'm pretty sure there got to be other good options at fullback that we could use. But 34, he's been getting the ball during practice, you know, getting some yards after the catch. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. Nah, no GOAT. I'm a pony. Nah, you the GOAT in my eyes, TD. You the GOAT in my eyes. I started doing this just by watching TD and all the other guys who were doing this. So to me, you the GOAT. But to other people, you might be the pony, but nah, not you, TD. Not you. All right, next. Next, we got the running back handoff. Gronowski and Malik Willis. There's Hankerson right there. So I try to do 2 things at once on this one. 2 things at once, but nothing crazy. I went back to the O-line after I seen the running backs weren't really doing anything. It was Aaron Brewer, the anomaly of the group. I see Aaron Brewer got that rubber band on the knee. I used to be a former athlete, so I kind of know what that means when you have that. It kind of keeps the weight off of your leg, so you're not causing too much tension in that knee area. There may be an issue there. I wouldn't be too concerned. I was able to play the whole season through something like this, but just something to keep an eye out for. You see how everybody else don't really got that, but only specific players can have that band around their knee. All right. This is a short clip right here. Let me go to the next one. Y'all stay tuned. I got the one-on-ones too. Hey, Spooky Laura. I'm good. How about you? I don't know who you are, but hey. Kenny Grant almost broke the sled. This is a feather. To me personally, I think Kenny Grant might be the strongest on the defensive line. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Zach Sealer, but at the moment, I might put my money on Kenneth Grant being that strongest guy on the defensive line. Keelan Farrell, he looks quite big out there. A lot of guys look physically impressive, but we want to see it during the game actually. So that's how practice is. They're gonna focus in on like the little details of their positions and what's really important in regards to firing off, hitting your opponent, turning the ball over. Those little details that hone in on that. That's what the Dolphins focus in on. Throughout the beginning of camp, not the beginning of camp, but the beginning of practice. Like I said yesterday, it seems like the practices are intentional. With Mike McDaniel, I didn't really get that type of vibe. He was out there trying to do what he got to do, but it seemed more intentional now with Coach Hafley. Here we got the defensive lineman get off. This is Max Llewellyn, our late round draft pick coming off the edge right here. Pretty good to get off. We got to stay a little low. Hit the bag. Set the quarterback. That was Kenneth Grant right there. Zach Sealer. 59. I got to see what 59 now. The thing that I noticed with certain defensive tackles, they're willing to put them at 3 technique as well. So with the fronts that we be running, sometimes it may look a little odd by the positions that they have every guy lined up at. It's kind of strange, but you'll see when the games start up, preseason and all that. There goes Butler. Good job getting to the quarterback. Who is it? There goes 97. I gotta figure out who 97 is. I gotta figure that out. Miami Dolphins roster.
The Miami Dolphins have more than 60 athletes on its roster. Here are the first three: Malik Willis, Quinn Ewers, and Devon Achane.
A chain. A chain. Let's see. Do they have the numbers on here? No, I don't think so. Let me go to the actual Miami Dolphins roster. Oh, Keith Cooper. That's who that is. Okay. He doesn't look too bad out there. Look like he could play edge and D tackle just based off his size in person. But we'll see what happens this year. Who is that? 96. 96 is Alex Huntley, the 6'4", 300-pound defensive lineman from South Carolina. Only 1 year, though. Only 1 year. '95 is Fat Orma. Fat Orma Mulba. I don't know who that is, but 1 year, West Virginia. It seemed like we just signed him, just brought him on. But hey, not all these guys gonna make the team. But I like learning about each guy and learning about their careers moving forward. Just as a guy that used to play for the Dolphins. I really enjoy doing that, and just keeping tabs with the team in general. All right. Okay, that was a short clip. Let's go to like the spicy. This is just a few of the receivers. There's a Malik. Good catch, Malik. That's Tutu. Tutu looks smaller in person. Tutu looks smaller than in person, in my opinion. Tutu looks way smaller in person. That's Todd Washington. This is Jalen Rager. And that's Donovan McCulley in the back, the Michigan guy, the 6'4" receiver. What's next? Okay, here goes right here. The one-on-ones. This is what I like to see. I wish I got the one-on-ones of the receivers and the DBs, but me formerly playing a defensive line, I like seeing one-on-ones. You didn't really get that right there. It goes Jonah. Jonah versus Kenneth Grant. Jonah, you got to have more fight than that, man. More fight, Jonah. I know Kenneth Grant, he's a big-time guy. Come on, Jonah. Everybody in the I don't want to keep on saying it, but you got graded as the worst offensive lineman last year. worse. I was expecting for Jonah to have a better performance this camp. I mean, he's showing steady improvement, but he hasn't like made a full 360 yet. It's like a 180 right now, but we're waiting for that 360. So Jonah, come on. I still believe in you, but seeing this is like, man, come on. Come on, Jonah. It was Aaron Brewer. That was one of the best matchups I've seen. That's a good matchup. Jordan Phillips versus Aaron Brewer. Very good matchup right there. Pretty even kill, but that's good work for Jordan Phillips, knowing like Aaron Brewer, he's one of the top centers in all the NFL. So that's good work each practice for Jordan Phillips. We should see a good year out of Jordan. Good year. Here goes Caden. Zach Sealer, what's going on with you, man? Zach Sealer. Zach, out of everybody, I wasn't expecting this from you, Zach. I know Caden Proctor, he's not that bad, but Zach Sealer, you're not that bad too. You're a pretty good player at defensive tackle, and you letting Caden Proctor do this to you? Come on, Zach. Just holding you up. This is like the third practice I've seen this. This is not just a one-day thing. It's consistently. So with this happening, I have a good feeling that Caden Proctor will at least be an average offensive lineman for the Miami Dolphins this year. At least an average offensive lineman. Patrick Paul, left tackle. This is Trey Moore. Good job by Patrick Paul. Trey Moore, he's a little bit more on the faster side, but that doesn't phase Patrick Paul. Patrick Paul, he has the long limbs and he has a good kick step to the point where he's covering so much ground, defenders don't know what to do. If you don't have that good first step against Patrick Paul, you might be out of luck. He goes Charlie Heck. That was versus a Jabo, the Michigan guy that we got this offseason. Charlie Heck still getting beat with speed. Still getting beat with speed. I'm not too sure what 68 is, but he went against Zeke Biggers. Zeke Biggers using his big size to get to the quarterback. Good job by Zeke. We have Andrew Meyer, I believe, versus South Carolina, 95. A pretty decent rep. Here goes Esther, fighting for a roster spot right now. Let's see what he does. Good job. Good job, Esther. Okay. Not against, a Zeke Biggers or a Zach Sealer, but that's still a pretty good rep by him. A guy who's fighting for his roster spot, so that's impressive. Esther kind of impressed me today. Not a lot, 65, not a lot, but he still got work to do. Still got a lot of work to do. There goes Josh Uche on the far right side. Ooh, good inside move. Versus Atalib. I think that's how you say his name, Atalib. Like I said, don't give him 72 if he can't block like Teron Armstead. Don't give him that number. Don't give him that number. You don't deserve it. All right. Who is that? 62. Well, that's the third string center. So 95, the new guy that we just brought in, just got did in. Two backup level guys going up against each other. Hayden Proctor versus Kenneth Grant, I believe. What I told you, I said Kenneth Grant might be the strongest person on the defensive line, but look what Caden Proctor doing to him. Look what Caden Proctor doing to him. Look, take it. First round pick versus first round pick. First round pick versus first round pick. He beat Zach Sealer. He beat Kenneth Grant. Those are two best defensive tackles right now in our room. The two best, and he beat them. So now we got to give him Dexter Lawrence. Let's see what he does against Dexter Lawrence. Let's see what he does against Aaron Donald, who's supposedly supposed to come back. Let's see what happens. Good job by Caden. Good job. Kafralai said KG and Proctor going at it. Nice. Hey, that's the matchup we needed right there. That's the matchup we needed. If I post that on Twitter, I know it'll go viral. I know it. Who's going? This another rep with Jonah. Ooh, 97. Keith Cooper. So Jonah, you can't be losing to Keith Cooper. I let you lose to Zach Sealer. I let you lose to Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, those guys. But a guy that we just brought in, nah, you can't be getting beat like that, like this by him. You can't. I won't call Jonah a bust until he's off our team. But until then, I'm rooting for Jonah. I'm riding for Jonah, and I'm hoping he plays better. But it's still kind of rocky in regards to practices with Jonah. Still kind of rocky. Good block by Andrew Meyer on that one. Got cut off. My bad. I think this is the last clip of one-on-ones, but I could be wrong. Okay, Jordan Phillips got his get back on that one against Aaron Brewer. Aaron Brewer had him. But good job by Jordan Phillips keeping those active hands, finishing with a move and getting to the quarterback. Good job by him. That's one thing I like about Jordan Phillips. He's an active player on the defensive line. A very active player. Caden Proctor again. This is in the same practice. Same practice blocking Zach Sealer like this. The same practice. I'm not lying to y'all. This is not AI. This is real life right here. Real life. Good job by Caden, man. Good job by Caden. Caden is an X factor right now for the team. If Caden does well, the team probably did well. If Malik Willis does well, the team probably did well. Y'all see that bull rush? Josh Uche. This is him against Charlie Heck. Look, Charlie Heck, he consistently gets beat by speed. But this was power right here. This was power. Good job by Josh Uche from the crib. Columbus. Here we have a right guard. See, there goes Max. Max Llewellyn, our 6th or 7th round draft pick. They got him lining up over the guard. So I'm pretty sure Max Llewellyn will play edge and tackle in some instances, depending on the defense. A joint practice next week will tell us a lot about this O-line, for sure. For sure. You know, Giants have a very good defensive line, so that should be a good indication to see if we're going to be actually a good O-line or not next year. Not this year coming up, for sure. And I will be at that practice too. I will be at that practice. I'll try to do what I can. A good job by Max. You're not a defensive tackle, but you're still showing the aggression. You're still getting back there to the quarterback, going up against a guard. You know, so that gives me the confidence that Jeff Hafley could line you up anywhere on the defensive line, and you're still going to try to get home. So shout out to Max. I like Max. I like him. Here goes the new guy versus Andrew Meyer. Got his dead end. Shout out to Andrew. I like that right there. I like that right there from a UTEP offensive lineman. There goes Esther. That was Brentley, the guy from South Carolina. Here goes Caden Proctor again. You know, the left tackle. That's against Keelan Farrell. You know, Keelan, you've been in the league for too long to be going toe-to-toe with Oatlieb. Let me search up his name. Hold on. 71, 72. Gottlieb. I'm going to call him Gottlieb, but Keelan Farrell, you've been in the league for too long for you to be going toe-to-toe with Gottlieb. His last name Adizi. But Keelan Farrell, he's like 270, 280. Where is he? He's 265. You know, so for you being a bigger edge, I want to see more from you. Way more for Keelan Farrell. You know, this was a high draft pick. So, you know, there's an issue going on here in regards to him not finding a home. You know, hopefully he could find a home with the Dolphins, but are you going to have to show us that first round pedigree if you want to stay on this team? You know, 29 years old, 8 years since he's been drafted. He said that he joined the Dolphins because of Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins spoke highly of our staff and everybody, but I don't know if Christian Wilkins is up to date because everybody's pretty much gone. Tua's gone. Tyreek Hill's gone. Waddle's gone. Chris Greer's gone. He's with the Lions right now. So I don't know what Christian Wilkins was telling him, but hey, we'll take Cleveland Farrell. You know, we need help at D tackle and DN anyway. So let's see how he works at that edge and D tackle type of defensive player. I know he'll be a scheme fit, but how good will he be for the team? That's the only question. How good will he be? All right. Next clip. That's Donovan right there, the Michigan receiver. There goes Jacob. He had a green cap for some reason. He had a green cap. I'm not too sure why he got a green cap, but just mostly motions with the linebacker. Nothing too crazy. There goes Coach Applebaum right here. Okay, so this is the start of the 11 on 11. So this is a lot of juicy content right here. A lot of juicy content right here. Good run by A-Chain. Probably would have got tackled there by Zane Anderson. But decent run by A-Chain on this one. There goes Kyle Lewis, Taffy right here. Tyrod Dodson in the middle. Jordan Brooks on the left. Jordan Brooks kind of took that wrong angle away from Aaron Brewer. Went to this side. If he stayed on this side, he probably would have made that tackle. But quick decision by Devon A-Chain. Flip into this hole. A good block by Jonah. Getting that separation. Open up that hole against Zach Steele. Good job, Jonah. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. We already know A-Chain gonna have a big year. We already know that for a fact. Barring any injuries, he will have a good year. Malik Willis again. Seems like a handoff. We got Trey Moore on the outside. We got Jordan Brooks on the other side. You get what I'm trying to say? There's not a prototypical edge. I mean, Trey Moore, he is an edge, but they have him at linebacker as well. But he's lined up directly on the outside. Same thing with Jordan Brooks, but we have a lot of defensive linemen on the inside. So our scheme is going to look very different compared to last year. But, hey, if it works, it works. And we got tackled by Kenneth Grant right there. Y'all saying Kenneth Grant quiet, but, he's making those plays that the audience not going to really notice. They're going to just see this play and think A-Chain didn't really get too much on the yardage, but they're not going to look at who actually stopped A-Chain. But that's what you got to focus in on, who actually stopped A-Chain. And it was Kenneth Grant this practice, for sure. Good job by Kenneth Grant getting that stop on the run. You seen him at the end, right? He put his hand up. Nope, not on me. Not on me. I like that confidence, big boy. I like that confidence. Nope. Shout out to Kenneth Grant right there. All right, you got Malik Willis in the pocket. You got Josh Uche on the outside, Trey Moore still on the outside, but now we got a typical edge right here, and we got Jordan Brooks more to the middle. That was a good catch by, who's that, Jalen Tolbert? Yeah, good catch by Jalen Tolbert. Who was he going up against? $33. That's on Jason Marshall. Come on, Jason. Come on, Jason. You're going to see Jamar Chase this year. You're going to see Justin Jefferson this year. You're going to see a lot of good receivers this year. If you can't guard Jalen Tolbert, what makes us think that you can guard the best of the best? The best of the best. So I want to see you win these reps right here consistently to show me that you're capable of being that cornerback 2, that cornerback 3, because a lot of wide receiver 2s could be wide receiver 1s on other teams. So that's why having a good cornerback number 2 is so important. You could give up that spot to Juju Brents. You can, or you could elevate your game to the point where they don't even have to think about Juju. They could put you in first and then put Juju in afterwards because Juju, he's on a pitch count pretty much because he can get injured anytime. But we want him in there, for the whole game for sure with his ability. But the best ability is availability. So Jason Marshall might have that on Juju Brents. He might have that on him, but you got to show us the production at practice. If you don't show us that, then I'm pretty sure the coaching staff will keep Juju Brents out there and then put Marshall in the slot. I don't know where Marshall prefers to play, the slot or the outside, but we'll see what happens. Facts. Shout out to Jalen Tolbert, looking like the Cowboys Jalen Tolbert and not the Dolphins Jalen Tolbert. A shout out to him. Jalen Tolbert, he's one of those guys. I feel like if he got more targets, he would look like a better receiver. But he's always in that role of being that wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. So he has to take advantage of his opportunity playing with the Dolphins if he wants to be at least a number 2 in his career, number 1. I don't think he has the upside to be a number 1, but I think he has the upside to be a good number 2. Right here we have Josh Uche on the edge. It seems like he's standing up, and then the defensive end, he has his hand in the dirt. So kind of weird in regards to the edge guys. They're in 2 different positions coming off the ball. Maybe that could be, on purpose. Who knows? But so it's Chop Robinson on that other side going up against Patrick Paul. Okay. Malik Willis. Ooh. Caleb Douglas. Who's the DB? Who's the DB on Caleb? 20. Who is that? 23? 23. That's not Zane Anderson. I'm pretty sure that's not. I don't know who that is. Might be Marco Wilson. Might be Marco. Or that might be Jason Marshall. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm feeling cool. Yeah, that's Jason again. That's Jason again. So Jason just got beat by Tolbert, and he just got beat by Caleb Douglas on this one. So I'm not going to use this as clickbait saying that Jason's not going to be good this year, but he's going to be at practice. He's going to be at practice. So hey, all it takes is for him to, see what he did wrong and fix it. That's all it takes. But we can't let this trickle down to the game. That's all I'm going to say. Tomorrow's a stadium practice, so don't embarrass yourself out there. A lot of people will be out there. A lot of people are not at work on Saturday, so they're going to be out there watching you. So come on, Jason. I'm pretty sure, you're from the crib too, so I know your people's going to come out and support. So shout out to Jason, though. I love him. Came from Florida. So I got to respect anybody who came from the University of Florida. Got to respect them. How's Kagmarek look? He looks pretty good. Pretty good. I wouldn't say he's like an all-pro tight end. That's what he looks like. I'm not saying he's Brock Bowers or anything, but, for the size that he brings at tight end, and he's a decent catcher. We could make him work. I feel like he could carve out a role on our offense and make the 53. behind Greg and Sadu. I feel like those three guys are certainly making the team. Turner has made a good case as well. Cole Turner, that tight end, he might make the team as well. So knowing Jeff Hafley, knowing how the Green Bay Packers work, I'm pretty sure we're going to keep at least 4 tight ends in the room, maybe 5, if Cole Turner could show us that he's worthy of keeping on the team on the 53. Because Cole Turner could easily go to the practice squad, and I don't think anybody will pick him up. I could be wrong. But he's a good guy to keep stashed. As soon as somebody get injured, move him up. And we'll be just fine with Cole Turner based on what he has been showing us this practice. Josh Uche has had a good camp so far. He's looked good. I'm not gonna say elite, but he's looked good. I want to see it during the game. He's back at the crib, so I want to see more from him than he has ever provided anybody else in his NFL career, to be honest. Let me look up his career stats. Josh Uche's career stats. So Josh, with the Patriots in 2022, he got 11 sacks. 11 sacks. So he showed us already that he's capable of being that type of guy to get 11 sacks. He played for the Patriots for 5 years, played for the Chiefs, the Eagles. Now he's with the Dolphins. Doesn't really get a lot of sacks, so he's more so of a pass rush specialist. Went to Michigan from the crib. Surprised me when he committed there. Surprised me. But him showing that he could get 11 sacks in a year shows me like maybe this year he could give us, 6 sacks, 7 sacks. He's from the crib too. So that's a pretty low expectation for a guy who's coming back home in Miami. So like the floor I see with Josh Uche is 6, barring any injury. Marshall again, like I said, Marshall, come on, man. It's popping out on tape. But shout out to Caleb Douglas on that catch and touchdown. Right here we have Ronnie Harrison, Tyra Dotson in the box. We have Lewis Moore back there. One thing about Lewis Moore, man, I have a great feeling that he's gonna make this team. I say that, and I don't know. There's something about him that I could see him playing anywhere on the defense other than defensive line. I could see him playing a little bit of linebacker. I could see him playing some safety, strong safety, maybe even a little free safety, DB, like a nickel. I wouldn't say outside corner, but nickel. I could see him doing that. I could see him being a guy that you can't really tell what he has planned on the football field. So I like Lewis Moore the more that I see him at practice. They put him everywhere too. They're not scared. There goes Major Burns, the guy that we got from the UFL, creeping in. Like I told you, beginning of practice, they're honing in on DBs blitzing, linebackers blitzing, defensive line. They're blitzing every play pretty much, but more so with the linebackers and the defensive backs. They got to work on blitzing and getting to the quarterback as fast as possible. So these guys got to learn like pass rush moves just like the D-line do. Good tackle by Ronnie Harrison. He popped out on film too. Made a few tackles today. Shout out to Ronnie, the former safety. Next play. Another thing I noticed, not a lot of people going to pinpoint this when they at practice, but me, I'm watching every detail at practice. Every detail is important to me. I seen the general manager standing there, just watching the whole practice right in front of the fans, like right here. Sullivan was just standing there talking with this guy. I'm not too sure who he is, but they're just overlooking the whole team, the whole process. Very different from Chris Greer. Very different. Like Coach Sullivan, not Coach Sullivan, but John Sullivan, he was standing there for most of the practice, just watching the practice, not worrying about anything else. I'm not too sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. There's a lot of stuff that you got to handle as a general manager of a football team. But I'm glad to see that he's focused in on the process of the team becoming better. I say that much. That was a run by Ollie Gordon. He got tackled by 51. 51, let me see what that is. 51 is Robert Beal Jr., the 6'4", 250-pound edge, who came from Georgia. I think he came from the 49ers previously, a little bit on the bigger side as a defensive end, but, okay job by him. Haven't heard anything much about him during this whole training camp, but, he barely got blocked on that one, too. Barely got blocked. I wonder what they was talking about out there. I wonder what they was talking about. I've been hearing like the Dolphins are in the market for a wide receiver. Maybe after these clips are done, we could check out which wide receivers will be viable for the team to add at this current moment. Maybe. But hey, let's see what this guy got up under his sleeve, even though he has one and another one cut off. So this is a really distinct style from a general manager. There goes Chris Bell. He was just standing on the sideline. It seemed like he couldn't take the heat. He had the towel over his head the whole time, pretty much after the workout that he did in the morning. He had a towel over the head the whole time throughout the whole period of practice. That's all he did was this. And then from time to time, he'll go and talk to the coaches or whatever and all that. But hey, Chris Bell, he'll be okay. He'll be back during this season. I don't know how productive his rookie year will be. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he'll have like 2 good games for the Dolphins, like over 100 yards. I know it's hard to see that right now, but I just have a feeling like there's going to be 1 or 2 games where Chris Bell takes off. And then we're like, man, that's the receiver that we needed in the receiving room. Right now, the way our receiving room looks, it seems like we need help for sure. We're in talks with Stephon Diggs in regards to bringing him in, but he ended up signing with the Commanders. But I wouldn't be shocked if we bring in another receiver the way our receiving room looks. Not saying that any of our guys are bad. I'm just saying that, out of all the teams in the NFL, free agent wide receiver is probably looking at the Dolphins like, man, I could easily go in there and be the top receiver. I can easily go in there and be the top receiver unless somebody in the receiving room proves to us that they're worthy of being that number 1 receiver. But in my opinion, I feel like the receiving room that we got right now, we could keep it as is because I want to see how good Malik Willis does with this receiving room. Let's see how good of a quarterback he is to excel with the receivers that we put in place for him. We don't have to go get a Tyreek Hill for you. We don't have to go get an A.J. Brown for you. We don't have to do all that. You're good enough yourself with the guys that you have around you. We put A-Chain right next to you, damn near a receiver. So that should be enough. We don't have to make everybody a Pro Bowler or whatever. Everybody on the offensive line doesn't have to be an all-star, but a quarterback that can elevate his team. That's what the Dolphins need. And Hopefully Malik Willis is that, because the people that we have around him is not the best in the league, but we're still hoping that Malik Willis lives up to that contract that we gave him, to the point where we could still be a winning team, even though it's claimed as a rebuild year. That's what I think. Facts: run the ball, run the rock, play smart, and play defense. I feel like that's Halfley's main focus this year, especially with the receivers that we got. There's no diva receiver, no stingy receiver that wants the ball 24/7. We got all guys who are trying to prove themselves. Don't worry about us not giving you a lot of targets. Just worry about what you make of those targets that we give to you. Once we see that you're able to do a lot with the targets that we give to you, then we'll give you the ball more. And if you show that you can do a lot when we give you the ball more, that's how you start leveling out into being a receiver one, receiver two, receiver three, and we could figure out where you best fit at. How well and how comfortable you fit in with Malik Willis being a receiver. I'm watching Kevin Coleman Jr. and Chris Bell when he gets back healthy. Yeah, hey, hopefully Chris Bell could actually practice against the Giants when they come in for the joint practice. That should be some good work, and we could see like how physically gifted is Chris Bell based off when he was coming out of Louisville, because that's something I really want to see. Look at the long snapper working on blocking over there. All right, let's go to the next play. We have Quinn Ewers under center, Kyle Lewis at linebacker, Malcolm Rodriguez, and we got Willie Gay Jr. So we got three linebackers out there. I mean, Kyle Lewis, kind of a strong safety linebacker type of guy, but for the most part, we got pretty much three linebackers. We got Chris Johnson in the slot, nickel, whatever you want to call it. He moves back to pass. He just missed Tutu on that one. Just missed Tutu. That was Tutu versus Marco Wilson on that one. See, 17, Trey Moore. Look, he's lined up at linebacker now. We just seen him a few plays ago, lined up at edge. Now he's at linebacker. So number 17, keep a lookout for him. Like, he's very intriguing in regards to how the coaching staff is using him on defense. Handoff. Carlos. Good hit by Lewis Moore. Brought down by 24, which is Green. AJ Green, whatever his name is. AJ Green the third, which is 24. But good run, find the hole. Who was this blocking? 79? Okay. Good job, 79, blocking. Created that hole. You see? Good job of him blocking. But look, Trey Moore getting washed down. Getting washed down. Every play not going to be perfect. Every play not going to be perfect. But come on, defense. You got to, as soon as you're engaged, move the guy to the side and look at where the ball is going to be. Shout out to Washington. He had a good few runs. A few good runs. I'll give him that. All right. We got Trey Moore at middle again. Seems like we have a Jabba on the outside and we have Willie Gay on the other side. Like I told you, this defense gonna be different this year. Just as long as it works. Just as long as it works. Hybrid Lewis. Lewis Moore. I feel like he's gonna be just a hybrid player, athlete on defense. What's good, Fin Fam? Appreciate you, Ken Dahat, 69. When you do come out to practice, just post whatever you got on the Discord, and I'll pay attention to it, and I'll react to it on live on YouTube for sure. But today I went and got this. I'll post this in the Discord as well if you guys want to see it. I'll post this on the Discord. Who is that? Who made that tackle on that one? Okay, look what the rookie's doing right here. Look what the rookie's doing right here. Come on, man. Good job by the rookie. Not getting washed out, shedding your blocker out the way, not getting bullied. Who is this on? Keith Cooper? Oh no, this is Jackson Woodyard, number 42, the linebacker from UNLV. Came in, made a tackle. Good job on him. Good job by Woodyard. He got an interception too today as well. Interception. So our linebacking room is deep, but I think it's just the fact of our top linebackers being so good. It's transferring down to the guys who are behind them, and now they're playing better at practice. So, iron sharpens iron, and I think that's what's happening in the linebacker room. That was Donovan Edwards on the run from Michigan. Donovan Edwards. Here's another play. You got Lewis Moore in the back, Trey Moore at middle linebacker. Even though we have enough, we still got that boy at middle linebacker. And then we got Jackson Woodyard on this one. Little Kim Miller. Who is that too? Hold on. Okay, so he's about to hit the fullback on the middle. Jackson Woodard, you're there. Read the quarterback eyes. This could be an easy pick for you. If you just got there a little sooner, this could have been a pick. But the fullback dropped it. Major Burns was there as well, the UFL guy who just came to the team. Yeah, 42. He was around the ball a lot. He was 42. Around the ball a lot. There goes the GM overlooking practice.
Big ball is football. You like a big ball.
Another back to pass. Got tackled by Ethan Bonner.
Oh, he out of there?
There, who was that? Theo Reese? Theo Reese, right?
Oh, he out of there?
Yeah, that was Theo Reese Jr. Like I told y'all previously, I think Theo Reese makes the team. You can lock that in my opinion.
Big ball is football. You like a big ball. Oh, he out of there?
Good job by Ethan getting there. Theo Reese, he doesn't have that breakaway speed, but he's just a good contested ball catcher. Has that good connection with Quinn Ewers. We're hoping that if there is ever a situation where Malik Willis gets hurt and Quinn Ewers have to go in, that connection between Theo Reese and Quinn Ewers should work into the Dolphins' favor, whatever game that may be. Because, I love Malik Willis, but I don't know if he's going to play all 17 games. I do not know. I'm hoping that he does, but we never know. Okay. This one's not playing. I don't know why. I do not know why. Just give it some time. I'm not too sure what's going on. It was 2:38. I don't want to miss no plays. Okay, let me refresh. We got a lot more plays to go. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. A lot more plays to go.
Big ball is football. You like a big ball is football.
Yeah, we just watched that one.
Well, you gotta run, block all the way, and then when you get there, you do all that.
You hear the fans?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hey,
We got Malcolm Rodriguez on the outside. There goes Jordan Brooks in that 2-point stance. Looking like he's about to blitz, but I doubt that he blitzes on this one. There goes Coach Jeff Haffey overlooking the defense.
you gotta get him on, yeah.
Good catch by Malik. Good 15. Malik looks a little bit more in shape compared to last year. A little bit more in shape.
Get him down.
Who is that? Zane Anderson. He rolls down. While Taffy rolls out.
Yeah. Once you get two, you gotta get two people.
A good run by Devon A-Chain.
Yeah. Once you get two, you gotta get two.
Good block by Patrick Paul on Jordan Brooks on this one. Good block by Patrick Paul. Sealed that off. Good cut by A-Chain. Boom. Coming up this hole right here. Good job, A-Chain. Boom. Excuse me. Jordan Phillips probably would have got there, but he was going up with Aaron Brewer, I believe. Yeah, Aaron Brewer had him locked, but didn't hold him.
It gotta be two.
Good run by A-Chain. You know, A-Chain, he's gonna be a problem this year, but we already know that. We don't have to say anything about A-Chain. We already know that.
Oh, look, they got closer.
We have Malcolm Rodriguez, not Malcolm, Jacob Rodriguez and Jordan Brooks. Pretty sure these two guys will be the starting linebackers for us this year. I'm pretty sure about that. There goes Chris Johnson on the outside. Looks like he's kind of in the box, but he's not.
Look how they block it to the left. I gotta watch it.
So that's a tackle.
Look how they block it to the left.
Good job by Jacob Rodriguez on this one. Good job reading the play and going to the right spot to make the tackle. You know, trusting his eyes, trusting that he knows what he's looking at. Look, he's reading offensive line. Everybody's flowing this way. You see the whole offensive line flowing this other way, you're thinking that running back is going that way too. But A-Chain cuts up to that right, to his right, and then Jacob Rodriguez, he sees it before anybody else does. Excuse me. He sells it so much to the point where the offensive lineman went with it, and he made a quick move to the outside to tackle A-Chain. You know, I seen that a lot on film with Jacob Rodriguez at Texas Tech.
Look how they block it to the left.
Good tackle by Jacob. Good tackle by Jacob. Hold on. All right, we have Malik Willis back in the pocket. Good throw to Caleb Douglas. Caleb, he was getting guarded by Chris Johnson on this one. You know, at least Chris Johnson was there to just be around the ball. But good catch by Caleb Douglas, a good diving catch too. Seeing that connection that he has with Malik Willis. Good job. And there goes Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob, even when the play is over, he's over there practicing hitting the ball out. Even when the play is over, he's still doing that. That's why he did what he did at Texas Tech. It ended up 5th in Heisman voting. Shout out to Jacob, man. I just love this guy, man. I love this guy on this team. You know, this is a guy that Chris Greer would have passed up on. I know that for a fact. Oh, this guy's too good. He don't deserve to be a Dolphin. Let's go get Christian Wilkins. You know, Chris Greer chose Christian Wilkins over Dexter Lawrence. Who's still in the league right now? So shout out to this coaching staff. Again, Jacob Rodriguez. I feel like he's going to be a staple of this team, man. A big staple. That's how you practice, Jacob. That's how you practice. We got Jordan Brooks and Jacob Rodriguez again.
Nah, he already said I do 200. Yeah, nah, he just said, I do 200. Yeah, that's what he said. That's crazy. That's exactly what he said. He said,
Willis
today.
passes it incomplete. Good coverage by Marshall on that one against Tutu.
He said, I do 200 a day.
Kind of a bad ball, though. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of a bad ball.
That's it. 19? Oh, 20. That's good, though.
Tutu ain't really have a good day today. You know, even though we didn't really see a lot from Tutu, Tutu's the type of guy that he's a benefit to have just because of the threat of his speed. You know, if you don't account for Tutu, he can easily go for 70 and a touchdown. Easily. You know, but if you do account for him, you know, put your fastest guy on Tutu and he holds him up, then you cancel the threat of us going deep on you. You cancel that because anybody else in the receiving room don't have that, you know, that speed that Tutu has. Nobody else that I could think of. Closest person, probably Kevin Coleman. I got to search that up. Who's faster, Tutu or Kevin Coleman? Who is the fastest player, Tutu Atwell or Kevin Coleman Jr.? Tutu is the fastest player when comparing straight line speed. Both players are currently competing in the Miami Dolphins wide receiver room, but their time speed metrics give Atwell a clear advantage. Tutu ran a 4.32, but Kevin Coleman ran a 4.49. It seems like Kevin ran a low 4.4 based off his gameplay speed, but at his pro day he ran a 4.38. But hey, like I said, Tutu is pretty much might be the fastest player on the team. You know, Malik Willis or Devon Achane may have something to say about that for sure. But I think Devon Achane probably is the fastest guy on the team. I think Devon Achane. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Devon Achane, Malik Willis. Who you think is faster? I don't think Tutu's on neither one of those guys' level. I'll put Tutu at third on the team. Third. He has logged unofficial times as low as 4.27 in the 40. 4.27. You know, I remember Tutu. He was over here in Miami playing quarterback for his team and won the state title as a quarterback. You know, so he's kind of like Malachi Toney before Malachi Toney, in my opinion. Tutu Atwell, 24/7 Sport. This is back in the old days. 5'8", 155, a twig. You know, a guy this small, you're not expecting him to play quarterback very well, but he did it very well for Miami Northwestern, the school that Teddy Bridgewater went to, Sean Spence, Amari Cooper, you name it. A lot of guys came out of this school. A lot of guys. Went to Louisville, you know, had a pretty good career. Had a lot of offers, was a 3-star recruit. You know, he's considered an athlete because he was playing quarterback, because he was playing receiver, even a little running back. You know, he's a very special athlete when he was coming out. Very special. But we gotta make sure he shows it at practice. We gotta make sure he shows it at practice.
Nah, he already said he said I'll do 200. Yeah, nah, he just said I'll do 200. Yeah, that's what he said. That's crazy. That's exactly what he said. He said I'll do 200 a day.
Good coverage by Jason. Good coverage. You know, one thing about Jason, I think he's gonna be one of those players you'll notice when he gets beat, but you'll also notice when he does a good job on a rep. You know, he's gonna be a streaky cornerback for us, unless he improves and he shows that he could be a more consistent cornerback. But coming into year 2, you know, if you get a streaky Jason Marshall, then at year 3 we get a solidified good cornerback. I don't mind that if that's what the development side takes you to be that good player that you could be, that you have the potential of being. You know, you're a 4 or 5-star recruit coming out of high school, so they've seen it in you coming out of high school. So you got to live up to that potential that we've seen of you coming out of Palmetto High School in down south. But shout out to Tutu and shout out to Jason, both guys from the crib. Love those guys. Right here we have Ronnie Harrison, Malcolm Rodriguez. As a starting linebacker. That's a tackle. Jalen Wright, he tried to run the ball. Jacob Rodriguez with another tackle. Jacob Rodriguez with another tackle. Good job, Jacob. You see, stuff like this, the reporter's not going to report. You know, they're just going to be like, oh, the running back ain't have a good rep on that one. They're not going to look at who made the tackle. But shout out to Jacob Rodriguez. Him and 42, they've been doing their thing. We have Tyrell Dotson with Ronnie Harrison. Now we got a 4-man front right here with 2 linebackers. So just a regular base defense. We got Willie Gay Jr. here, kind of on the slot. He may be blitzing from this package. Who knows? But he's back in coverage, so we just sending 4 on this one. Good catch. Would have been tackled. There goes Teray, and there goes Ethan Bonner hitting the ball out. Like I'm telling you, Whenever a defensive guy has a chance to hit the ball out, even when the play is over, that's what they're telling the guys to do. Even if the play is over, even if the whistle is blown, still try to hit the ball out. So it could be muscle memory when they're going after the defender, they're still trying to hit the ball out instead of it not being something that's not practiced a lot and we don't get a lot of turnovers. So I feel like this year we could be top 10 in turnovers, top 10 in turnovers in the NFL if we continuously do this throughout practice and help the whole defense get accustomed to ripping the ball out. A good job by Ethan. You know, he's been here through a lot of regimes and a lot of people who coach this Miami Dolphins football team, but he still finds a way to stay on the roster. Still finds a way. So there has to be something good going on with Ethan Bonner to the point where every coaching staff is seeing the value in him to keep him on the roster. You know, maybe he doesn't make the 53 this year. Who knows? But we got to see. That's a run play. That's Ollie Gordon in the backfield. You got tackled by Willie Gay Jr. on that one. Good stop. Was that a completion? Who is this? Who is Cam Miller? No, this is Quinn Ewers. That was an incompletion, but you know, Quinn Ewers, he tried to hit Jalen Tober on that one. It ended up being incomplete. Right here, Tyrell Dodson, Ronnie Harrison, Quinn Ewers. There goes the first pick. I think that was the first or second. You seen the kids went crazy. Kids went crazy when they seen that pick. I felt the kid pain on that one. I felt the kid pain because every time Dolphins quarterback throws a pick, it just makes me sick to my stomach. That's the thing I hate worse seeing on the football field. We've seen it a lot with Tua when he played for us, throwing picks. Oh my. And nothing irritates me more from a quarterback than throwing a pick. And Quinn Ewers did that. But shout out to Battle. I think it's Miles Battles. Number 35. He had 2 picks today. He had a good day today. And like I told you, he has to continue. Yeah, Miles Battles, a 6'3" cornerback out of Utah. Only on his first year. So that's pretty, not his first year, his second year. So that's pretty good numbers by him. Pretty good numbers. Okay. 26 years old. Hey, shout out to you, man. Getting 3 picks. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not 3 picks, 2 picks this practice.
You see that dropping? See how it bounced off his.
He looked like he's 6'2". He looked like he's 6'2". I'm gonna post this one on Twitter. This one's funny.
You see that dropping? See how it bounced off his hand and he caught it?
Good tackle by Gottlieb.
But no.
But first name, Quinn Ewers. Why are you throwing into traffic like this? There's 2 defenders. 3. It's about to be 3 of them. Most likely, the guy in the white jersey is not going to come down with the ball compared to the other 3 guys with the green jersey that's around the ball. You know, you're not Patrick Mahomes, you're not Josh Allen. Don't try these throws. I would rather you throw it to this guy right here. I think, who is this? Jalen Rager right here? I'd rather you throw it right here than throwing it into traffic. And then look, what if the receiver don't drop it? This is what's going to happen. And then once people look at your stats, they're going to see you threw 4 picks that game. Even if they look like that, they're going to see you threw 4 picks, and that's you not being careful with the ball. You throwing it into harm's way is you not being careful with the ball, and you're being too confident with your arm strength.
You see that, Jonathan? See how it bounced off his hand and he caught it?
But today was definitely a defensive day. I give them that much. Definitely a defensive day. The offense did a few things here or there, but mostly defense did their thing today. Here we got Gornowski, the guy from Iowa that we picked up. Good block by Taj Washington. Good block, Taj. A little bit of a holding, but hey, we'll take that. Oh, that's on 24. Who's 24? '24 is AJ Green. Right. Okay. AJ Green. But Gronowski, we know you're not fast, man. We know you're not fast. And we know you're a running quarterback at Iowa and all that. You know, we know Iowa don't really produce quarterbacks like that. So that's why we don't have that much faith in you. You know, right now you're in a quarterback competition with Cam Miller. Pretty much. It's between you and him. Quinn Ewers, I know his spot locked down. And Malik Willis, his spot is locked down. It is between y'all two. That's Carmack right there with the block on the outside. For those who are asking. Good block on Willie Gay on this one. There goes the quarterback throwing it into traffic again. Wait, hold on. That's Taj Washington. Taj Washington ain't really have a good practice. That's him versus AJ Green. You know, Taj Washington, we're going to need a better camp from you because as of right now, AJ Henning seems like he's running away with the spot that you probably could have. AJ Henning is running with that spot that you probably could have. So, Taj Washington, ball out tomorrow at this stadium practice. Show us like you belong on this team. You know, we ain't draft you. This regime ain't draft you. So they're not committed to you. So you pretty much have to make them commit to you by performing well out there. If Taj Washington gets cut, I know exactly what team he's going to. He's going to the Bears. You know, used to play with Caleb Williams. So that familiarity, they just lost Keenan Allen. All they have is Luther Burden and Rome Odunze, and they got Colston Loveland, but they could definitely use another guy that is familiar with Caleb Williams. So if Taj Washington get cut, watch. I could bet y'all a certain amount that he goes to the Bears or he finds his way to the Bears in his career. There goes Carmack. He just motioned. Good tackle by 42. Okay, Jackson. Okay. Good job reading. Oh. He met the fullback in the hole, but he kind of did a shoulder move up and underneath him. Boom, got the tackle. telling you that linebacking room, man. I feel like we have the best linebacking room in the league, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. If they got number 42 playing this good, imagine what our top guys gonna do when it's NFL game time. Imagine. Here goes Gronowski looking to pass. 42 again. Good hit by 42 on Donovan Edwards. Okay. 42 trying to make the team. I could definitely see practice squad for him. If we wasn't so deep at linebacker, I probably would say that he has a spot on the team. But since we're so deep, he might be the odd man out, even though he's been playing well. He's been playing really well. Not really well, but he's been popping out. And the kids hyped up after seeing that. Getting right in the backfield, Tyrell Dotson, and another linebacker. Jordan Brooks out there. Taffy looked like he got a blitz. Rush the quarterback. Fullback. Got the ball. Jordan Brooks with the tackle. 34, I'm not too sure who 34 is. You know, I wish we still had Alec Ingold. That's the guy that I wish we still had. Yeah, I like Alec Ingold a lot, but DJ Herman, I don't know who this is, man. He's a rookie out of San Diego State. I mean, hey, shout out to DJ Herman. Much respect, much love, you know, but there got to be other fullbacks that we can pick up other than DJ Herman to see that we got the best guy and put some competition out there for him. Put some competition. The only competition you really got is like the tight ends, because sometimes the tight ends line up in like a fullback formation, and they're the fullbacks in that formations. Hey, shout out to DJ Herman, but like I'm saying, bro, I just want competition. It seems like he has no competition out there. No competition. Malik Willis back to pass. Decent time in the pocket on this one. There goes Cole Turner against Taffy, the rookie that we got from Texas. Good job by the O-line. Aaron Brewer with the pancake, half a pancake, you know, with half butter and half syrup. Half a pancake. Yeah, good job by Cole Turner, a guy that we thought that, you know, probably gonna get cut in a week or so. You know, but with the departure, not the departure, but with the absence of Greg Dulcich, it's like, you know, it gave him an opportunity to show his worth, his value, and he took advantage. So you got to give him credit when it's due. My bad, you guys weren't watching the play. Let me play it again.
You got the baby feet?
Baby, that's why you were.
Great catch by Cole Turner. Chop Robinson on the edge. Josh Uche on the edge. Be on the lookout for that front right there. Chop Robinson and Josh Uche, come on, man. In the middle. One is King Grant, I believe. And one is Zach Sealer. There goes Lewis Moore. He's in the box now. Good tackle by Juju Brents. And the guy's pursuit to the ball. You see that good block on this one. Good block by Jonah. Seemed like Jonah pulled on that one. Jonah pulled, got Josh Uche on this one. Pulled, got good block. But Juju came and made a tackle. This formation look like everybody's gonna blitz, but not everybody's gonna blitz. Some people gonna drop back. Almost picked off. Seems like Malik Willis got sacked on this one. Who is this? Josh? Yeah, Josh Uche got there. Good rep. Him versus Patrick Paul. And he dipped his shoulder, got around Patrick Paul, got Malik Willis. But look how low Josh Uche stays on this one. Look how low he stays. Good dip move. Definitely a sack in real life. Definitely a sack in real life. Definitely. It was Malik Willis. Drop pass, Jalen Tolbert. Kind of little too much in front of him. No, he was wide open. Wide open. Wide open. You know, the two defenders. You know, who was this? Zane Anderson and Taffy. Our white boys. They coming in heavy. Boom. But good job by them, you know, seeing that. But Jalen Tolbert, you gotta come down with those. Gotta come down with those, man. Even if it was a bad ball, you know, sometimes you gotta make your receiver look, you gotta make your quarterback look good. Even if he throws a bad ball, that goes to show you how good of a receiver you are. You know, wherever the quarterback places the ball, you still come up with a way to get the ball. Oh, that was a sack by Chalk. Easy sack. Come on, Gottlieb. Oh, who is that? Austin Jackson? Damn, come on, Chop. Not Chop. Oh my, I forgot his name now. Austin Jackson. Yes, this is Austin Jackson at right tackle. This is Jonah right here, and this is Austin Jackson at right tackle. You know, good kick step, but you know, Chop, he's a different breed. Look at Halfley just looking. Look at Halfley. Oh man, we got the next Michael Parsons here. Next Michael Parsons. A good catch by Douglas. Sorry, Douglas, that would have been a sack, but good catch by you. Good catch by you. We got Llewellyn on the outside. We got Ojabo on the other side. So a different package, heavier set guys. Oh, that's Keelan Farrell, and that's Max Llewellyn. Quinn Ewers think he can run. That was for Malik Washington, but incomplete. You can hear the kids going crazy in the background. Them kids were funny, man. Them kids were funny. All right, Quinn Ewers, back to pass. We have Trey Moore and Jacob Rodriguez. I keep on calling him Malcolm because the Detroit Lions have a linebacker called Malcolm Rodriguez. Reminds me so much of Jacob, but Jacob is the better version of both of those two. That was the other pick. The other pick. Every time he threw the 2-2, something bad happened. Every time he threw the 2-2 at something bad happened. But the reason why you would want to throw the 2-2 is because of the speed that he has. You get what I'm trying to say? But every time he threw the 2-2, something bad happens. He's not on the bigger side. So you have to be a little bit more accurate in regards to getting the ball to where Tutu can be the only one who catches it. If Tutu going up against a 6'3" cornerback like this, what do you expect to happen? Tutu could be faster than this 6'3" guy, but the 6'3" guy could have a longer stride to keep up with Tutu. And I'm thinking like the quarterback probably thought, man, Tutu run a 4.2, so he got to be down there somewhere. So all I gotta do is throw it up, which is definitely not the case. Definitely not the case. And then James Battle ended up getting his second pick of the practice. The shot to James Battles, man. Good practice today for him. Good practice. I don't know if he makes the team, but as of right now, it seems like there's a good chance he does. You could have thrown it a little bit farther just so that cornerback doesn't have that much space to work with. You want that 5-yard separation from a guy who ran a 4.2.
All right, now it's close. You can see it better. Not so far.
Here goes Zane Anderson. We got the linebackers on the line of scrimmage. Looking like they're going to show blitz, but somebody's going to go out and cover. Not everybody's going off the ball right now. Jacob went out and covered, and Trey Moore went after the quarterback. But Robert Beal, the defensive end, I wouldn't trust him out in coverage like this. I would not, but hey, let's see what he does. So overthrew Theo Weiss. Quinn Ewers, I know you got that connection with Theo Weiss, but you don't got to keep on trying. Just because you think you're going to complete it because he's there. Little bit too high. You're used to throwing to Theo Weiss, so you should know the exact way to throw it to him. Which routes he's the best at, the best routes to use him for, to make him look good. With this, it seems like he thought Theo Weiss was Jamar Chase or Calvin Johnson on this one, but he threw it too high. But hey, that's something that they could continue to work on. But it seems like they still have a good chemistry based off all the other practices. But with this one, he just overshot him too much. Overshot him.
Look at the DB, look at the linebacker, look how they move.
They put Sadu in motion. Ollie Gordon in the backfield. 2 years back to pass. Would have been a sack by Jacob Rodriguez. Or Trey Moore. Yeah, that's a coverage sack by Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez, he stood out today. Definitely stood out. Looking at all this film, he definitely did do his thing. There goes Gronowski. Number 42 again. Number 42 again. Making plays at practice. You don't make all the plays that 42 made at practice, and he doesn't end up at least being decent out there on the football field. Woodyard from UNLV. I think he has a chance, man. But just practice squad and wait for your opportunity if somebody goes down there on linebacker room. Because all the other guys, I really do like those guys in the room that we have currently. So Woodyard may be out of luck, but if you keep on playing like this, we'll have no choice but to keep you on the team. Unless somebody picks you up from our practice squad, which could be a scenario. Yeah. What is that, like the fourth turnover already that we watched from today's practice? Fourth? Something like that. There goes Major Burns out there in the secondary. He tries to throw again to Tutu, but underthrows it. Picked off again. Picked off again by throwing the Tutu. Like I'm saying, you got to be a special type of quarterback to throw the Tutu. Tutu is a good receiver, but I'm just saying, with his body stature and him going up against guys who are way bigger and stronger than him, and they are able to cover ground as well, it's going to be hard to throw the Tutu unless he's like wide dead open. Wide dead open. You're hoping with that speed he could easily get wide open and you just throw it up, but that's not the case. Like here, we've seen the quarterbacks throw 2 picks off of throwing the Tutu. 2 interceptions in this practice. So hopefully that's not something that happens with Malik Willis. I got to see Malik Willis connect with Tutu Atwell for me to feel comfortable. But with like the second and third tier guys in the quarterback room, those guys got to get comfortable with the receivers as well. Just in case there's something happened with Malik Willis, you got to be able to produce with the linebackers, with the receivers that we got in the room, especially since we don't have a Tyreek Hill, especially since we don't have Jalen Waddle or whatever. If you threw this to Jalen Waddle or Tyreek, they'll probably come down with it compared to Tutu. Tutu are not on those guys' level. But in regards to just speed itself, he's up there. He's definitely up there. But you just got to make sure you use Tutu in the right way. If you use him in the wrong way, it might hurt it might hurt the offense. But if you use him in the right way, look how far the Rams made it with Tutu on their team. Look how far they made it. Shout out to Major Burns, the UFL guy. Got himself a pick at practice. That was the fourth one. Four turnovers. 4. Here's Gronowski. We'll talk about Willie Gay Jr. Who was that? Kamarek? Yeah, the guy from Ohio State. This, I believe, is 2-minute drill. Two-minute drill. Let me see what happened on this play. It's almost over, guys. I've been on live for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Almost over. And then I'm going to just go over a few things. Then I'll be done streaming, and I'll be back on tomorrow for the stadium practice. There was Kyle Lewis. I'm up in that too. Good tackle by Robert Beal on the edge. Robert Beal Jr. I thought he was like 6'5", 6'6", but he's actually 6'4".
We got practice today. Wow, now we can see. Now you can really see right here. Come on.
Well, what's up, Frederick? How you doing? What's good, Frederick? Malik Willis back to pass. Good catch by A-Chain. Good diving catch. You know, not all your running backs are making this catch. Not all running backs making this catch. So, A-Chain, we already know what we get with A-Chain, man. I love A-Chain. Love A-Chain. All right. Here go Malik Willis. Ran the ball on this one. Kind of got tackled by who? He got tackled by Coffee on this one. So I wouldn't expect, Malik Willis to keep the ball too much this year. But he will if he has to. He's not going to go run that Lamar Jackson offense where he went over 1,000 on the ground and over 3,000 passing. I don't think that's going to be Malik Willis this year. I think Malik goes for like 600, 700 yards rushing, just over 3,000 yards passing, maybe like 27 touchdowns passing, maybe 7 rushing, 9 interceptions, maybe 10, 11. That's my prediction for Malik Willis. This, I don't know, man. With the shorts being cut this small, like, come on, man. We need longer shorts than this, bro. Especially, this is Juju Brents right here. Juju Brents, the guy who always getting hurt. This might be the reason why. Because of these pants right here. Where's your knee pads? Where? I know y'all can't go out in the game like this. Y'all gonna need more coverage for your knees, or your knee gonna get blown out. You're out for the season. Out for the season, man. You need longer shorts than this, man. Longer. Shout out to NG Ace, my boy. Is it Marcus, right? The GOAT finally back, man. Yes, I'm back in the flesh, man. Back in the flesh. Talking about the Dolphins, the NFL, you name it, man. Yeah, the season gonna be a good year, I think. If it's not, then we got this draft class coming up that has a lot of good quarterbacks. Dante Moore. You got Manning from Texas. You got Damon Williams from Washington. You got Swarsby, maybe. Who knows if he enters. You got Nico from UCLA. You got Fernando Mendoza's brother who's playing at Georgia Tech right now. We got a lot of quarterbacks to choose from next year. So Malik, you gotta keep that in mind when you plan for the Dolphins every week. Like all the quarterbacks that are coming out next year. You don't want none of those guys to take your spot, right? So, all you gotta do is ball out for the Dolphins, and the more games you win, the least likely we will pick a quarterback in this upcoming draft class. The more games you win, the less likely we will pick a quarterback in this upcoming draft class, especially in the first round. So Malik Willis, put that up on your wall or something, because that should be enough motivation for you to ball out for the Miami Dolphins, no matter what we put around you. The fact that you're in Miami, no state tax, the women. Even Malik Willis said he don't even go out, so he's not even worried about the women. That's why I like him even more. Man. Like, I would go out a few times down here in the area, Miami, and I'll end up running into a player or two. I haven't ran into that issue just yet, but maybe it might happen sooner rather than later. But just as long as I don't see the quarterback, I didn't see Tua, but we were dealing with other things with Tua that were aside from the club. Enjoying vacations too much, even though he hasn't performed up to the standard that we needed him to. He was using that show me the money to enjoy himself. Malik Willis, I feel like he's gonna just come to Miami and work and not worry about the nightlife and all that. He knows what's at stake with this team. He knows that he has to prove that he's a franchise quarterback. If not, he's out of here. But yeah, guys, please stop this. I care about your health, especially Juju. Please. We know that we need you this year. We know the potential that you got at cornerback. So we can't risk you getting injured, somebody chopping you, and then your leg snap in half like Tyreek did last year against the Jets. We cannot have that, for sure. Yeah, for sure, Frederick. Like, come on, man. I agree. If we do better than expected, go out and get more from Notre Dame or Godsby. You talking about CJ? The CJ guy from Notre Dame? I think that's his name. And Godsby from Texas Tech. Those guys will probably fall to the second, third round. If Malik Willis does well, we'll probably still pick a guy, but later on in the draft. If Malik does bad, we're picking somebody in that first round because we got like 2 or 3 picks in the first round to replace Malik Willis, so we could put him in a quarterback competition and whatnot. Who knows? Yeah, the socks too. You see, come on, Juju. This is probably why you getting injured. No socks, no knee pads. What else you don't got? What else? If it was anybody else, if it was somebody that doesn't get injury prone, okay, no problem. But since it's Juju, and I know how important he is to the team, it's like, come on, please go put some knee pads. You probably won't get injured the whole year if you go put knee pads on. Probably won't. But just look at him like a perfect cornerback, 6'3", long arms, long legs. He runs a 4.5, but it doesn't matter because his stride is just amazing. It's Juju Brents, right? Or am I wrong? Target Arch Manning for the next draft. But that all depends on Malik Willis. If you want Arch Manning next year, you better hope that Malik Willis does bad this year. If you don't want Arch Manning next year, hope that Malik Willis does good this year. I'm going to always root for Malik to do well. Because if Malik is a good quarterback, I feel like we'll be in good hands for the most part for the next few years. With this quarterback draft class, I know it's a good one. But if you're bad enough to go pick a quarterback, let's go pick a quarterback. Let's say we got like the 28th pick in the first round. And let's say Dante Moore falls all the way there. Let's pick him up, even though Malik played well. All that. I know it's not going to happen. He's going to fall all the way down there. I'm just saying, like, just based off our draft position, if a good quarterback that we can't refuse falls to our draft pick, let's pick him up. No matter if Malik Willis played good or not. But if all the guys that we like are gone off the board, then don't even worry about picking a quarterback. Just pick the best player available to help the team out because we already figured it out with the quarterback. Just pick a quarterback later that has a lot of a lot of high upside. Somebody who's similar to Malik Willis too. Like we could put him in and we can run the same scheme with him, just like we would run with Malik Willis. That's the type of quarterback we would need, like Lenore Sellers. That's one example. Just another running quarterback that you see in college football translating to a type of scheme that Malik Willis runs. That's the type of quarterback that we'll need. But this is a beautiful view. You got Caleb Douglas, our top 3 receivers versus our top 3 corners. Jason Marshall, he should be right up too. There go Jason Marshall.
Hey, what you see? How you beating the DB? Tell me. How you beating number 8? Look.
There go Jordan Brooks. Looking like he's coming off the edge, but he's not.
Look at him. He's flat-footed, bro.
There goes Carmack with the touchdown. Good catch by the big tight end. You know, we're going to use him as a blocker for sure, but we're trying to capitalize off his receiving ability, and we're trying to teach him some things so he could just be a decent receiving tight end, but more so for the blocking. I think that's why the staff picked him up. Big guy too. Big guy too. Him and Cole Turner look like the same size. The backup tight end that we got.
Dad, you have your but my money at home. My car with me, but my money at home.
Good tackle by Ronnie Harrison on this one. Good job filling the hole by Ronnie.
It ain't no option.
Ain't really get that play.
Look, hey, tell them, say, y'all was texting us to stay down. I ain't stay down the block. I can go to Savage Squad and block.
That's Ronnie Harrison Jr. again. As y'all can see, with all these clips, our linebackers are making a lot of plays. Every linebacker is making a play out there. So that's what I'm saying. That room is tough. That room is so tough, man. Yeah! Yeah! So tough. There goes Cameron Good on the outside. Trey Morris still in the middle. Major Burns looks like he's about to blitz. Shifted to the strength. Tight end motion. Good job seeing that.
81 open.
Pass. AJ Henning with the touchdown. The guy who's been standing out. AJ Henning, look him up. I might have to look him up after this. I might have to, because what I've been seeing from AJ Henning, man, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Let me see.
Get a push up. I owe y'all 10, coach. I owe y'all 10. Coach, you talking about, give me 50. Sit down. All right, sit down. Get your shoes.
Media. Okay, so after this, we're gonna search up like AJ Henning highlights so we can check them out.
I owe y'all 10, coach. I owe y'all 10. Coach, you talking about, give me 50.
You got Woodyard and Willie Gay at linebacker.
Sit down. All right, sit down. Get your shoes.
Great tackle on that one. Who would I give that to?
Sit down. All right, sit down. Get your shoes.
I give that to Keith Cooper, number 93. Good stop on that one. Decent game.
No, here, give him some. No, here, give him some.
Hand off to Carlos Washington. Probably would have trucked this DB right here. Probably would have trucked him in real life, you know, but it's practice. You can't do that to your own teammate. Can't. I think we got beast LBs. Even the cut candidates are tough. Facts. Based off what I've seen today, facts. Biggest surprise this training camp, I'd say Caden Proctor. When we drafted him, I didn't really like him. I'm not even gonna lie. There's other guys I had in mind, Ruben Bain, but what I've seen from Caden Proctor, it makes me feel content with not having Ruben Bain, because if we had picked Ruben Bain, we would have an issue at offensive line. We still have an issue at offensive line, but it's less of an issue now that we have Caden Proctor. You feel me? But if we had Ruben Bain, then we would have been in the market for offensive linemen, you know, probably on a 1-year deal other than Patrick Paul. Everybody else would have been like replacement level, you know, tackles or guards other than Aaron Brewer. So I like the fact that the Dolphins focused on shoring up the offensive line with that first pick. Then Ruben Bain, as of right now, just based off of what I've seen from practice, and Caden Proctor.
Oh.
A-Chain fell on that one. Can't have that A-Chain. Can't have that A-Chain. There go Kyle Lewis right here. Kyle Lewis looked like a linebacker. You know, some people are saying safety. Some people are saying strong safety, whatever. He looked like a linebacker, but he could still play safety if he really had to.
Oh.
Good dip on that one. Chris Johnson in motion with, who was that, Tutu or Todd? Carlos Washington with a good first down. Tackle by Battle. That's how you run, boy. Shortly after this run, running back room came and encouraged them. It's upside down, but you can't really see it. Like the whole running back room was happy for him after today's performance. Even though they know he probably not carving out a role with the team this year, you know, just, you know, giving it your all at practice is the least you can do, just so the coaches are comfortable with bringing you in. Let's say Hafley gets fired and he's on another team, he might have some interest in bringing Carlos Washington, just based off what he's seen at practice from him, to bring it into another organization. We got Trey Moore in the middle again. Can't really think he's fast, but he really ain't. But good escape by him. Instant pressure, especially from that left side. Who was that on the left side coming off the edge? Number 90. Who is number 90? Mason Rager with the good pressure off the edge from Wisconsin. Might be that next Andrew Van Ginkel, but that's too much of a high praise. I'm just saying that based off the school he came from. That's it.
Michael Jordan. Come on, AJ.
That's Jalen Rager right there, doing a 2-minute drill. Jalen Rager, he's gonna get the ball out in this 2-minute drill. I'm not gonna lie. If we did a 2-minute drill in an actual game, just based off what I've seen at practice, I think we'd be 60-40% in regards to actually winning the game after a 2-minute drill. It seems like we're not all the way there yet with a 2-minute. Just keep on doing these periods where Malik Willis gets used to 2-minute. We're down by a few points, and hopefully Malik Willis makes the right choice in regards to throwing the ball and helping us drive down the field so we could get that game-winning field goal or whatnot. So that was a focus going towards the end of practice, that situation itself.
Whenever you're ready, man. Throw it.
That's another catch by Jalen Rager.
2-minute drill.
Like I told you, I liked them coming out of TCU last year. No huddle offense, high tempo. Jalen Rager with another catch. That's 3 catches for Jalen Rager. That goes on John Eric Sullivan looking over the offense and defense. Still up from the beginning of practice to the end, he was out there just watching the football practice.
AJ, let's start making them happen. Come on.
A good catch to Sadu Toure.
Come on.
Ronnie Harrison was on him.
AJ, let's start making them happen. Come on.
Come on, AJ.
Now Quinn Ewers is gonna go through this drill. Got sacked by Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant, he popped up on film today. I was asking for Kenneth Grant, but here he is.
Come on, AJ.
Here he is. Nice little stunt, and he got back there. In these 2-minute drills, you gotta make quick decisions and find an open person. If you wait and hold the ball too long, you will get sacked. These guys, 300 pounds, running 4.5, 4.4. Like, you gotta move out the way.
He went and went to San Diego. He was like Saeed or something, bro.
Who is short? That's Jalen Wright. One thing about a running backs, man, I feel like if they just had more touches, they would be able to show that they're starting caliber running back in the NFL. If only. But the bad thing is we have A-Chain, so they can't do that. So they gotta make the most of their targets, their carries, everything, just to prove like, man, I belong on this team and I deserve more carries. You know, I could definitely go over 100 yards rushing over 20 times. But it's going to be hard for me to rush over 100 yards if you only give me 5 opportunities, 6 opportunities. That's how um that's how our guys like Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright finish with like 6 carries for 31 yards, 25 yards sometimes. You know, but maybe that one game where they go in at the right time and they burst out for 70 yards, then it looks like, man, they got over 100 this game. They look like some good players, you know? So we should be thankful to have Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright as backups because I think they could be a starter at a specific team other than the Miami Dolphins. You know, but it's just the fact that we got Devon A-Chain. That's it. That's it. Here, that was the end of practice. That last one, that was the last play. I just got a few clips of the athletes signing autographs
Over there.
or whatnot.
We just had a brand send us some stuff. So our first little brand stuff.
This goes to me.
If the kid's marketable, you know, whoever's watching the
There
page,
goes
they'll
Chris
definitely
Bell
look into it.
signing autographs.
Can I tag you in it? Yeah.
He can't deal with that heat. He always had that towel on. Like, man, this heat ain't no joke. You know, I'm used to it. I'm a Florida boy, so. But with Chris Bell, he's like, man, I
They
can't.
tag me, collab.
Okay.
All the people who follow my page,
Okay, bet.
they'll see it. I get like 2 million views a month
Okay.
off my
Okay.
page. And I help kids get.
Hey, he got a marker. Aiden Austin got a marker.
Who else was signing? Chris Bell a little bit up close.
No.
All these kids are
There's Malik Washington.
Yeah, it is Malik Washington.
Yeah, this is Malik Washington.
Hey, Malik, I saw you at one time.
There goes Donovan McCulley, the 6'4" receiver. Signing autograph. Drive by what? Drive by what up? Peace, fam. I'll catch the replay. I'm not going yet. I got a few more things to go over. You know, free agent wide receivers, AJ Henning, so on and so forth. Then I'll be off to get ready for tomorrow. But shout out to Billy. Appreciate and love you, my boy.
Yes, Kobe, you want your shirt signed too?
How many mics are them down?
80. Who's 80? Let me check. Okay, 80 is Donovan McCulley. That's the Michigan receiver, 80. But who is the other guy? Who is this guy? Who is this? 86 or is that AJ Henning? Wait, my bad. This is AJ Henning. He's 5'10", 192 Northwestern. Hey, I'm not too positive who this is.
Hard of hearing. He loves.
Malik and Caleb, they were signing autographs.
Caleb.
Good practice.
Here goes Gronowski.
Yeah!
Thank you, Caleb.
We gotta get you a new one of those.
Thank you, bro, so much. Have a great season. Stay healthy, man.
Put your little Malik Willis there.
Thank you, Paul, out there.
A whole bunch of haters on the internet, but when it's in person, all love, man.
You was open the whole practice, dog. You work off the line, dog.
Yo, Malik, you got 20K on TikTok.
Malik.
But they don't even know who Malik is. They calling his name out just because he played for the Dolphins. They like, man, we with him. We with him. There go Byron Matios, the international player that we signed. I seen him off on the side working out. Maybe he's trying to fight for a spot on the team still. Who knows? But he looks in better shape, but he doesn't look like he could play tackle in the NFL. He looks like he could play defensive line. Like he looked like he was in a more bigger state last year, but this year it looks like he's slimmed down and maybe he's making a transition to defensive line. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. This is him walking off of practice. And yeah, that was the last clip, man. 3 hours just going through all these clips with you guys, man. 3 hours, man. Come on, show me love, man. Show me love for doing that. But hey, if I wasn't passionate about this, I wouldn't have not done this. I say that much. But let's search up AJ Henning, the guy who's been showing up at practice for us. Let me see if I can get any good clips of AJ.
Been on the other end of his punts. What is that like when you're dealing with Torrey Taylor and his talents as you're trying to field the football?
You know, it definitely didn't surprise me that he was taken that high. You know, when I get my prep work for at the beginning of each week of game week, you know, you kind of get the hang time of a punter and different statistics on him. And, you know, when I'm going up against him that week, I'm watching film on him. I'm seeing how much difficulty the opposing punt returners are having trying to catch his punts. And he's a great player, has a strong leg, and he's gonna be great for the hometown team, the Bears. Yes, sir.
You've been on the other end.
So it seemed like he's from Chicago. That's what it seems like. He was at Michigan. Then he transferred out of Michigan to go to Northwestern. Interesting. Okay. You know, Michigan don't produce receivers, so he probably has a relationship with Donovan McCulley that we have on the team now. A pretty good relationship. 34 on a vertical jump.
Up there.
Not bad. If he did a 40, that's impressive. If he hit 40, that's impressive. You know, Northwestern, not a prominent program. He probably went to Northwestern thinking like he's going to get a lot of playing time. This is him with Kirby Smart previously, probably on a football visit.
Gear I got as an NFL rookie.
This is AJ Henning, who AJ man, AJ Henning made a TikTok video of all the equipment that he got from the Dolphins. Man, if my wardrobe looked like this, nothing else I would need. Nothing else I would need. For sure. You can't really see AJ on this one, but just him getting work.
They were trailing.
Yeah, nothing on AJ. Let me just look up his career and what he's accomplished. What are things that AJ Henning accomplished throughout his career before joining the Dolphins?
According to sports-file.com, looking ahead, Henning's path to regular season playing time will depend on several factors: his ability to grasp the Dolphins' offensive system, his performance in preseason action, and the team's depth chart needs at wide receiver.
Okay. All right. Henning played at Lincoln Way East High School in Illinois. So his hometown team is the Chicago Bears. Okay. Where he was a two-way star. His senior season, 52 receptions, 13 touchdowns. Also ran for 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. So I can see why they're using him in that gadget role, backing up Malik Washington on our team right now. I could definitely see why. He has that history of playing running back as well as receiver. He was named Illinois Gatorade Football Player of the Year. Okay. College at Michigan, played 14 games, scoring his first collegiate touchdown. So he played as a freshman. Returned a TD versus UConn, became the fourth Michigan player to return both a punt and a kickoff return for a TD. He averaged 7.36 yards per punt return and 20.38 yards per kickoff return. Over 3 seasons at Michigan, he had 25 receptions for 198 yards and 15 rushes for 186 yards and 57 punt returns. You know, with Michigan, like I say, they don't produce receivers, so he probably left seeing that he wasn't getting a lot of numbers. And he transferred over to Northwestern to prove that he could put up numbers, and he did. First year, 45 receptions, 418 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns with 1 rushing, not bad for your first year transferring. Then the second year, career highs. So each year he improved on his numbers, so that's impressive. 59 receptions, 603 yards, and 4 touchdowns, plus 12 punt returns for 136 yards. Here in all Big Ten honorable mention. That's probably why he went undrafted. Over 2 seasons at Northwestern, he had 94 receptions for 1,021 yards, 72 rushes for 414 yards, 69 punt returns, and 611 yards. Henning was recognized for his speed, route running precision, and ability to score in multiple ways. He found the end zone via receptions, rushes, punt returns, kick returns. Pro Football Focus named him one of its 31 breakout candidates for 2022. These accomplishments established him as a high-level college football player before he signed with the Dolphins as an undrafted free agent in 2025. So there's a lot there with AJ Henning now that I'm seeing this. There's a lot there, you know. Maybe he could play a little running back, you know, based off his history. Maybe, you know, sometimes you got to go back and look at player's high school career to see the best way to use them. Sometimes. Let me check out his 24/7 sports. After this, we're gonna see what receivers are available. He was a 3-star recruit. They compared him to Tariq Cohen. Don't really see that. Tariq Cohen was like 5'6", from what I remember. 5'6". He chose Michigan, a 4-star wide receiver. Not bad. You know, putting up over 1,000 rushing and over 1,000 receiving. You're in a good place at that point if you're able to do that on a high school level. Good place. He had 29 offers: Georgia, Notre Dame, Penn State, Alabama. So he had big time offers too. So AJ Henning, you know, balling out at practice shouldn't be a surprise. You know, hopefully you guys get to see the stadium practice tomorrow. I'll try to see what I can do. I'll let you guys know. But we definitely got to see what AJ Henning does out there. Definitely got to see. Let me. What are free agent wide receivers that would help the Dolphins this upcoming year? Give me a list of 20 receivers that are available that we could add on a team and it will help us out.
According to MiamiHerald.com, so Miami will have 30-plus realistic veteran receivers to choose from, with a significant role likely awaiting at least one of them who's cheap enough to attract the Dolphins' interest.
A lot of these guys not even in the league no more. Some of these guys are already signed. So, you know, you can't really trust ChatGPT to a certain extent. Hold on. Google search. Deebo Samuel just signed. DeAndre Hopkins just retired. Jawan Jennings, he signed with the Vikings. So they still giving me names that are not available. Free agent wide receivers that are available. Okay, so Tyreek Hill is available, but like I said, he's still recovering, so no. Curtis Samuel, I don't think he's gonna make a big difference. Noah Brown, not a big difference. Keenan Allen seems like an obvious person, but if I'm not mistaken, first things first, this guy is 34 years old, 13 years in the NFL. But I feel like he could come in and teach our guys some things in regards to becoming better receivers. So he won't come in as that wide receiver number one, but he'll come in and be that grandpa of the receivers that still help the receivers play better just based off what he learned throughout his years. So Keenan Allen seems like that obvious person. And then after Keenan Allen, I'm looking through everybody else. You know, I wouldn't pick any of these guys over Keenan Allen. Any of these guys. So it's Keenan Allen or nothing, in my opinion. Keenan Allen or nothing. Let me see. Any receivers on the trade block that we should be on the lookout for the Dolphins? They saying Xavier Legette on the trade block. Keon Coleman, I've been hearing some things about him performing well with the Bills, and I know the Bills not going to trade him to a division rival, the Dolphins. Kayshon Boutte, the same thing. Not going to do that. Xavier Legette with the injury of Chris Brazzell, their rookie receiver, I think they're going to keep him around. So I don't know, man. I do not know what receivers that we should target. I'm looking right now. Wide receiver. DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf might take like a 3rd round pick. Jerry Jeudy a 3rd or 4th round pick. I was gonna say Brian Thomas Jr., but he's performing well, I guess, at a Jaguars training camp. You know, I thought they were going to trade him eventually, but they didn't. But as of right now, I say Jerry Jeudy might be an option for sure, and Keenan Allen, those 2 guys. If there's anybody else that you come up with, you know, leave a comment, and I'll do my research if it makes sense. I definitely do my research, but hold on, the screen is not even sharing. If there's anybody you guys can think of, just let me know, and I'll do the research, and I'll talk about it on the next live stream in regards to receivers that make sense. But right now, Jerry Jeudy, probably somebody that's on my list, and Keenan Allen, another person on my list, man. But hey, I've been on live for 3 hours and 12 minutes. 3 hours and 12 minutes, man. But I wouldn't have done this if I ain't love y'all or if I ain't love the Dolphins. So I appreciate y'all. If y'all want to see all the clips from training camp, go back to the beginning of this video so you can check it out and see my observations of the clips. And I'll try to do the same thing tomorrow for y'all, for sure. But appreciate y'all, love y'all. Appreciate everybody who came out. TD, Frederick Dunlap, Mr. Billy Batson, Marcus, Frederick, you name it. Cat in the Hat, Christian Lee, Spooky Laura. Shout out to everybody, man. Dundee, Dolphin, IROC. Appreciate and love all y'all, man. But you already know what it is. It's DGE, Dolphin Gang Entertainment. And you already know it's your boy DG. And I'm gone.